Okay. Well, I talked to Dr. Heather this morning, and once again, Dr. Heather, I just want to thank you so much for your time. And guys, she's a busy woman, and she's actually getting ready this week for funeral of her father-in-law. And so it's pretty generous to get on today. And this is her heart, and this is her passion. She's been in, Dr. Heather, I'm gonna let you kind of give your background, but I will tell you, like, she's been leading the ketogenic industry and conversation for over 20 years. When I found out about Prove It and therapeutic ketones, I couldn't really think of anybody who was utilizing the ketogenic diet except Dr. Heather in Kansas City to heal disease. And so she was my first call 6 years ago, and she's the one who's educated me on everything I know. And she's been all over the world, just rubs shoulders, sat next to top researchers and scientists, and she's networked. She's a wealth of knowledge, highly respected in the industry, and just feel really grateful that she's in our lives for such a time as this. And
thank you, Dr. Heather. I'm so grateful for you joining us.
Well, thanks, Abby. And I think Donna, your name, right? Correct?
Yes.
Yeah, well, it's really, really nice to meet you. And I'm sorry that we're meeting under these circumstances, but I honestly think that God has given me a huge purpose-driven mission, which is to help give people some options when their health is challenged, whether it be, I don't want to say something minor like a cold or flu, or something bigger like cancer. So I want to help you, and I could go down my whole accolade, as Abigail started to say. I mean, I've been practicing for 26 years. I've had the amazing blessing of helping people get their bodies in remission from things like cancer or diabetes or eosinophilic esophagitis or Crohn's or ulcerative colitis. I don't want to talk about those other people. I want to focus on you. I can tell you so many amazing things about Abigail and what we have done together as a team and as a community over the last 7 years. But I want to take this time to really focus on you and your family. I couldn't be more tickled or bring tears to my eyes that you guys are all coming together. I've done this before with families, and I have someone saying, and this happened with my family. My grandma got diagnosed with cancer for the 8th time, and she literally shut her book and said, I'm done. And I had to respect it. My mom had to respect it. My sister threw a big temper tantrum and said, Graham, you got to fight. And she's like, I'm done. I'm going to get my hair and nails done, and I want to go be grandpa, and I'm done. She's fought it for 30 years. So we had tug of wars all over. But from what Abigail said, you guys are on the same page, which I can't tell you is so comforting to everybody involved. I know you've been doing some digging around on Dr. Google, but I want to get some questions answered, but just give you a baseline. I have practiced for 25 years as a functional medicine physician. Functional medicine means we don't find like cancer in a breast and cut the breast off, or your skin and cut a hole out of your skin to cut the cancer off. We look deeper and say, what is the imbalance in the body? Where is the dysfunction? Why is it maybe not the breast? Maybe it's somewhere in the liver or where else? Where's that dysfunction happening? We remove the interference so the body can start to balance and heal itself if that's going to happen. Or we slow down the rate at which the imbalance of the immune system is starting to fail. I don't cure anything. I don't heal anything. I simply can help interpret the lab work a little bit differently than the standard medical field. I look at lab work a little bit differently. I come from a full body approach, which means I'm going to tell you, if your pillow is more than 2 weeks old, you're going to throw it out. Because with brain cancer, you're spending a lot of time on that pillow. And if it's got hair dander, if you've been using pesticides or chemicals in your shampoo or your cosmetics, I'm going to have one of the girls, I think it's Laura and
Emily and Christina, all three.
Christina. So one of the daughters or the husband, somebody's going to go through your cosmetics and your shampoos and make sure it's all natural. On my blog, I have ways to make shampoo, cosmetics, all that stuff needs to be all natural because there's so much research behind all that getting into your skin, and you're going to be sleeping. I guess sleep is the #1 thing you need to do to heal and allow your body time to repair. So we'll go down through that. I want to meet you where you are and take you where you want to go. I don't want to be like my sister dragging my grandma through another round of whatever you don't want to do. I want to meet you where you are, and I want to help everybody understand where you want to go on your timeline, wherever that may be. Does that
Okay.
make sense?
Sounds perfect.
So, and I've helped a lot of people over the past 25 years get to their goal line and a little bit further, and I've been very blessed to do that. So I want to know from you what you do know about helping your body naturally fight and get back into a natural balance so your immune system can be balanced, because it is glioblastoma. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so glioblastoma, as you probably know, hits your immune system very hard. I don't know what the doctors have told you, but it hits your immune system very hard. And so what we need to do as a team or as a tribe is say, we have to make sure your immune system is protected like a big bubble. So we don't drink out of plastics anymore. It's glass. No more straws, no more plastic things. And I have a whole bunch of YouTube videos of detoxing your house, which is not drinking out of plastic shaker bottles, getting rid of xenohormones, plastic Tupperware, getting the pillow. I'm going to be big on the pillowcases, shampoos, dryer sheets, getting wool dryer balls with essential oils, that kind of stuff. Same thing. If people bring over meals to your house, you don't want to have sugar, and we'll get into that in just a minute, because sugar feeds cancer, which
Right.
dampens the immune system, plus the glioblastoma dampens the immune system. So I want to see your lab work. I'm going to hit it from a little bit different avenue. I look for optimal levels. They just wait until the white blood cells are already starting to get low. We want to keep them up high, because keeping the immune system high can slow down the GBM growth and keep the immune
Okay.
system in the gut tract. We do very specific amino acids for the brain and for the immune system. And we keep the body at a very acidic level. So critters like bacteria, viruses, fungus can't grow in there, because it is keeping the immune system strong, because that will keep the GBMs at a very slow level. Make
Okay.
sense? It's a
Absolutely.
playbook we're going to use.
Yeah. Well, I have been eating healthy for the last few years just because I've been gluten-free. I worked with a naturopathic doctor to find out what was affecting my digestion, and small intestine bacterial overgrowth was SIBO was diagnosed. And so I did go through some detox with her, and I've been gluten-free for a couple of years. And so I have this week tried to cut out all sugars and just go with the fresh fruits and vegetables. Although I know fruit I shouldn't be eating now. I was eating berries earlier this week, thinking berries was a good thing, but Nick told me I need to stop eating berries too. So
That's
now
a
I'm
really,
berry well.
yeah. And so gluten-free, sometimes even gluten-free pancake mix can have more carbs than Aunt Jemima's pancake mix. So
Really?
it can be very deceiving. So
Okay.
so I would suggest an autoimmune ketogenic diet, which is eating organic as possible, hormone-free, because we want to keep the immune system nice and strong. And fruits will be listed in the book, I think Abigail sent with Nick. Fruits will be avocado, olives, tomatoes, a few berries, but we're going to have to get your ketone level high before we add berries in, a little bit of lemon, a little bit of lime, and that will be the fruit category.
Okay.
So avocados are a fruit. And you'll see in that book, there's vegetables of 3 different lists of glycemic index. So to get started to get your body in ketosis, because we want to stop feeding cancer today, right now, or yesterday,
Right.
we want to stop feeding it. So the
Right.
best way that I've been most successful is I have people start on a 3-day fat fast. I don't know what your body percentage of fat is. And I do expect people to lose some fat, because fat stores toxins. We want those toxins to get out. We don't want those toxins, though, to feed the immune system. So either I have people fast to get into ketosis using exogenous ketones, MCT oil, or do about an 800 calorie fat fast using healthy fats. That can be done by whipping up a can of coconut milk, whipping that up. That's about 800 calories, and eating that while drinking ketones. Or you could have chia pudding or hemp pudding with some ketones, doing it that way. But there's no dairy, because dairy feeds cancer. You already read that, except for ghee. You can have ghee. So my suggestion would be to get started, get the slate clean, like you say, detox, but it would be for the next 72 hours, is either doing a fat fast, which is about 800 calories of fat from nuts and seeds, or fruits, which is coconut, or doing a 72-hour fast. It depends on how your energy level is, kind of where your BMI is. I know Abigail says you're super fit, superwoman, she said, very athletic. And I don't know if you've been doing any intermittent fasting or what your eating schedule's been. Sometimes if people have been eating or snacking, a 72-hour wet fast is too hard. And that's why we do a fat fast, where you're having about 800 calories of fat a day.
Yeah, the fat fast sounds good to me.
Okay, so that could be snacking on olives, avocados. And again, I think the best way is, because I'm kind of a little bit of a sweet tooth, I take a can of coconut milk, organic coconut milk. That's the hard one, that's the thick one. I just whip it up in my KitchenAid. I put some Ceylon cinnamon in there. You can put some organic vanilla, and you can just eat that like ice cream. That's
Okay,
800
sounds
calories for the
wonderful.
can.
Yeah,
Again, I don't want you going over 1,000 calories. So I want your body to tap in, and lots of water, Epsom salt bath. How much are you exercising right now?
I'm walking every day right now.
Okay, before your diagnosis, how much were you walking, or how
I
much
was
were you
walking
working?
2 miles a day before.
Okay, perfect.
And today I walked about 1,000 steps.
Okay, how is your
1,000
energy?
steps. Good.
Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, what is it today?
Probably about a 7.
Okay, does your oncologist have you keeping a journal?
No.
We have not gone that far. We have meetings tomorrow with Duke. And
Okay.
so we've got to meet the cancer people and also the radiologist tomorrow for consultations. But
Okay.
she just had surgery about a week ago today.
And what did you have done?
She had the tumor removed. She had brain surgery, and they removed a tumor that was the size of a golf ball, a little bit bigger. She still has stitches and everything. So
I haven't had the stitches taken out or anything.
Okay, how many more tumors are there? Did they say?
none.
None. They got it all.
Wow, that's
They got-
awesome.
They said they got every bit of it. So
Well, that's amazing. Did they tell you? I mean, that's incredible. Usually with glioblastoma, they grow like little grapevines. So that's
They,
actually incredible.
they did get it all, but she does have grapevines.
Okay. So before I talk anymore, tell me how I can help you.
I'm not sleeping well.
Okay.
I'm waking up. And I'm having trouble getting to sleep, and then I'm waking up way too early. So could use some help that way. Other than that, just, the food and diet suggestions.
Okay, so I have worked with the military on the PTSD level as they come back from deployment, helping people sleep better. I will send you a YouTube video on how you can do better sleep hygiene in your bedroom. I also have a dispensary online I'll send you via email and suggest some pharmaceutical grade melatonin. I also want to see your calcium, magnesium, and vitamin D level, because those are your body's natural tranquilizers. So we'll want to have to get you sleeping naturally, because that's when your body rests and restores. Is the sleep new since the surgery, or you've had trouble before that?
It's new since the surgery.
Okay. Because sleep is a #1 goal. That's
And
your
when you-
body's way of healing.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
When you ask about wanting to see those levels, when you want to see those different levels, what is the best way to get those levels of magnesium, et cetera, that you had mentioned?
If you have a portal like a MyChart or whatever you log into your normal doctor's charts, just log in and send them to my office.
Okay.
So the
Usually-
doctors will share those levels.
Yeah, generally it'll be like on a CBC or a CMP. So, we log into my chart. I have some of my orthopedists are in Colorado, I'm in Kansas, and KU Med Center and University of Colorado are all on my chart. I can log in, I can take my mom to the ER and I can see the labs before the doctor even comes back and sees
Yeah,
her. I
we
can
have
log into
that.
her portal. So
We
This-
have that as well. I just wondered if that's something that doctors will normally do, is check those vitamin levels.
Yeah, it's the blood. She's had blood tests, and they were testing her blood right after surgery and before, probably 2 or 3 times a day for glucose and some other things. So all of that stuff, to me, I don't understand what it means, but those are all out there, those charts.
and I will summarize an email. If somebody can send me an email in the chat box, or if Abigail can send me the best email to send it to, I will summarize notes. I know somebody's probably taking notes as well. So sleep is our #1 goal. Tell me what else, Donna.
Specific exercise other than walking, are there other things I can do to strengthen bone growth?
Okay, so jumping 6 minutes a day. When we put astronauts into space, they age 12 years in 1 year. And we have found that whether they jump 6 minutes or 6 hours, it still increases the same tensile strength. So jumping 6 minutes a day, it can be 3 minutes in the morning, 3 minutes in the afternoon. It can be on a step. It can be doing jumping jacks. It can be pretending to jump rope. It doesn't matter what it is, just be safe. Jumping helps that. Estrogen level, I know that you're over 29. So if I had an estrogen level, if I don't have those labs, I can write orders for those labs. It's more than just calcium and vitamin D. Those all have to play a game in it. So Dr. Adrienne Scheck, which I think Abigail shared her name with you, she's a very prominent figure and researcher, and not a mini tramp. It has to be on the ground.
Okay.
So it has to be on the ground, 100% weight bearing. Dr. Adrienne Scheck is with the Barrow Institute. She's one of the leading researchers in brain trauma, brain cancer, brain disease. And she has used the pure therapeutic exogenous ketones prior to radiation because it protects the lean muscle mass. It provides more oxygen and protects the tissue around the brain, even prior to surgery. And she has people doing it prior to radiation. She's even had people delay radiation a week or 2 to get the ketone level higher. So that is something important. And we can have a phone call after you talk with your doctors the rest of this week. But getting in that level of ketosis is important. There's a ratio between your glucose and ketone level. It's also important to keep that immune system high because you want to make sure that you're not having some type of hidden food allergy. And rotating the foods will be important as well. This is where the over information Abigail's talking about. So when you're rotating greens or rotating proteins, you want high omega oils because EPA and DHA is important for the brain. I don't know if you're picky or not, but this is not a time to be picky. So get good quality tuna.
Thing at this point.
So tuna and cod and fish, again, if it's going to be gamey meat or whatever, it needs to be just organic. So we talk about bone strength that comes from bone broth. The bone broth Abigail mentioned has hyaluronic acid and type 2 collagen, which is really important for ligament. We have 26 plates in our brain. Having some surgery and also having radiation can weaken those plates a little bit. So the hyaluronic acid and type 2 collagen are very important for those joints and sutures within our brain to help keep those bones strong. So
Okay.
I would have 2 servings a day.
Yeah,
And
I
I've
had
got
some of the bone broth that she sent this morning.
So, and you can mix and match that, make a soup, make an egg drop soup if you want. So, and the MCT oil is also very important for protecting the brain. So,
Okay.
I sent the 143, didn't I, Nick?
Yes.
Okay. That, Dr. Heather, how many of that 143, like
To
what would
about-
you? Yeah.
to bowel tolerance. So you want to go through the fat fast first and get your body into a state of ketosis naturally. So it means your body's naturally producing ketones. You're under stress now, which means you're dealing with a little bit of health challenge. I'll just make it minimal today, a big health challenge, which is stressful. You're not sleeping, which also raises your cortisol level. So we've got to get you sleeping, get your body into natural ketosis, and then really feeding your body the healthiest nutrients that we can. I want you chewing your food because that tags your brain neurotransmitters. We want GABA high, we want dopamine low, so your neurotransmitters, and your histamine level low. So any potential hidden food allergies we take away. That's why we eat all organic, we ditch the dairy, we eat things that are all natural, hormone free as possible, and we rotate foods. So you have tuna one day, salmon one day, chicken one day, pork. You could have pork if you have a local source of it, beef one day. You just rotate foods.
We had
and
salmon
greens,
last night, salmon and asparagus last night, so.
great. I want about 5 cups of greens a day if possible, because if you saute spinach, it goes to this big, or
Right.
kale, or arugula, because arugula is high in glutathione, which is great for your gut and great for your brain. So
Okay.
arugula can be, and with your vegetables, 50% raw and 50% cooked, whether it's sauteed or kale chips, whatever it may be, we want those mixed.
Okay,
And eating in about a 6-hour time frame. How is your appetite right now?
my appetite's pretty good.
Okay, so I think we need to get through the fat fast over the next 72 hours, which you're not going to have to worry about what you're eating food wise. Again, we've talked about if you get hungry, snack on some olives, have a scoop of avocado, whip up. I love the coconut oil. You can have a package of broth if you want, because that has fat in it. I think you'll be okay. Anywhere from 800 to 1,000 calories. Abigail told me you're about 5'4". Do you mind sharing your current weight? People can hold their ears.
130 pounds.
Okay. Is that your normal stable weight?
Yeah,
Okay. Yes, she can drink the ketones on her fat fast, but I wouldn't do more than 2 a day, one of those being the broth. And no keto pro during the fat fast. Because we want to get into ketosis fast. And
okay,
because they have sugar alcohol. So, and then after the 3 days, you'll see the doctors, right? You said you go to Duke and you meet with the oncologist and radiologist.
yeah, we meet with,
Radiologist tomorrow and Duke Cancer Team on Wednesday.
Okay. And what have you eaten today?
I've had bone broth, I've had, egg, crustless egg quiche that the kids made with lots of vegetables and eggs. And a salad, I had a small salad for lunch with arugula and spinach.
Okay. So probably you could probably say if you want to start your fasting time now and just fat load for dinner, a chia pudding, a hemp pudding, something like that. Or start having just a bunch of olives for dinner if you wanted to do that.
I hate olive.
Okay, I'll stop talking about it. Tell me now, say. Can't do that.
He said she'd eat anything though.
I'm not gonna make her eat sardines if she doesn't want them, because I can't do it. I mean, there's other choices.
Yeah, avocado's fine, but no.
As far as the nuts go, is there specific nuts that are better than others? I would assume,
Yes.
like almonds over peanuts, etc. If you could throw a couple nuts out there that she could eat, that would be great.
So seeds are always better than nuts. So sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, papeti seeds. Then the brain seeds are going to be cashews, walnuts. It also helps increase your testosterone, which is great for heart health in women. So all the ladies on here should know that for heart health. And when it comes to eggs, the over easy eggs, the runny yolk has the choline and inositol, which is important for brain health. So don't cook the yolk if you can eat an over easy egg. But yes, peanuts are a no-go. Keep them out. They're tainted. We never get them clean here. They always have a fungus or mold on them. When you
Right.
buy seeds, don't buy the off-label bunch in a band. You want to buy the more expensive, smaller contained name brand seeds and nuts. That makes sense. Don't buy
Okay.
any honey roasted. You want them oven or salted, or salt them yourself, or buy them raw and roast them. That's why I know I kind of asked Abigail where the demographics were of families. So somebody be on the home detox, have 2 or 3 people on some cooking. I would not dish it out to neighbors because they're going to throw something in. Oh, I thought that was good. I saw it on the dirty keto list, or I put a bunch
Yeah.
of heavy whipping cream, and we're like,
We've already
that's-
had we have wonderful neighbors who have good intentions and they've brought over lots of food and I've said, here, you guys eat. I'm not eating any of this.
No,
Well,
you
good for
tell us.
you. Good for you. So I would like to see lab work. I will like to see a food diary every day, which I know
Okay.
gets daunting, but that's the only way for me to keep track. I would
What
like
about
to
a-
have,
What
Nick?
about a digital blood meter? Would that be something of help?
That's what I was just saying. Yeah. So
Oh.
the Keto Mojo checks both blood glucose and blood ketone, because the ratio between when we get a couple weeks, that will be what's important, not this week or next week, but the ratio of what your glucose is to ketone. I even have a lot of my colon cancer patients get a continuous glucose monitor because, like, for me, I don't have diabetes, but biohacking, my blood glucose is 80. I have just any type of dairy. Like I had just some yogurt, clean yogurt, Greek yogurt. My glucose went to 200. So I don't do dairy. I mean, I don't have any like rashes or hives or anything, but I know it's an inflammatory issue for me. So I just keep it out. So continue, but when it comes to ketone to glucose, there is a sweet level where it doesn't cause any inflammation. And that's what we want to do, is keep the inflammation down. So, and Nick, the Keto Mojo does have a bonus package.
This thing? Can you see that? I don't know if you can see that. or
Yeah,
not.
that's it. It's got the funny person. Yeah. If you go to them on Instagram or Facebook, they have a bundle pack where you can buy the different pack of the glucose strips and the ketone strips. They're the most economical ones out there. And they're really good. It's what we went to at our office.
Okay.
Can I ask a question about, I wanted her to take about 2 ounces of raw apple cider vinegar. I don't know how that has an effect on ketosis. So I just wanted to make sure before I recommended anything like that.
So generally I'm going to say no, only because I find that most cancer patients, and now that she's had SIBO, have a candida issue going on. And I'd probably ask her naturopath if she's ever talked to you about candida albicans.
Yeah.
Or yeast. I'd look at her tongue. And so if she has any type of yeast issue, I wouldn't do anything fermented. I do a very specific probiotic once I look at the bun levels and stuff, or if I could look at her tongue, things like that. But knowing that she had SIBO, I wouldn't do apple cider vinegar. I'd rather have her do some lemon or hydrochloric acid in a digestive enzyme. So I
Okay.
keep that out, and I would do vitamin C, because vitamin C is necessary for many of the there's 12 different neural pathways in your brain, and vitamin C helps convert some of those brain neural pathways. Vitamin C does exactly the same thing for digestion that apple cider vinegar does.
Okay. And as far as
Megas.
vitamin C,
Megas probiotic. I don't know if that's a good thing to continue with, or if I should stop that as a
So-
probiotic.
So I would like to see the labels of everything that you're taking,
That's amazing.
and it would be a picture thing where you just email them to me,
Okay.
separate email, and I'll look at those after I
Okay.
look at your lab. I'll look at your blood work first, then I'll look at that afterwards. If something's missing from your lab work, I can order labs, or I can just have you, when you're you're gonna have lots of blood draws, I'm sure. You can go to Quest or LabCorp, or just have them tag it onto your next lab draw. Most people end up just taking 2 sheets in. So it's something very simple to do. But when you
Okay.
look at functional medicine, we look at heavy metals. We look, I'm gonna ask you about dental work. That's why we're talking about toothpaste, no fluoride. If you are gluten-free, you need to go fluoride-free. Either make your own toothpaste or use Tom's, or use something that doesn't have any fluoride in it.
Yeah, I've been using Hello.
Good. You're already on it. So definitely would keep away from the vinegars for that reason. And when it comes to vitamin C, I look at some digestive trends. So if say your calcium's below 9.7 or magnesium's below 2.0, iron's below some certain points, and I know there's an acidity hydrochloric acid issue level that precedes probably why she had the SIBO, besides having the histamine response from the gluten. So the good news is you've already gotten a lot of things out of your diet, knowing that the gluten was there in the first place.
Yeah.
as far as lemon goes, can she drop, what's better, lemon oil, lemons in her water, both? Or is there a recommendation on the actual lemon? And then also, if you want to speak to the vitamin C, I know vitamin C supplements, so you don't get the sugar in there from like orange juice, etc. So recommendation on lemon and recommendation on vitamin C intake, and physically what types to take.
So for vitamin C, if people don't like water, or if someone comes to me and they're on Pepsid, I quickly get them off of Pepsid because you want the acid. You can have lemon in 1 glass of water a day because dentists say it gets the enamel off your teeth. If you have any amalgam fillings in your mouth, do you have any silver in your
No.
mouth? Good,
No,
because a lot of times too much lemon, the acid will actually start to erode the metal out of your mouth. It's a good thing that you don't, because most women our age or over the age of 50 will have some type of dental amalgam in there. So you can do a couple drops of lemon in a water, a wedge of lemon in 1 glass a day. More than that, you get the enamel off your teeth. You could use doTERRA or Young Living, either one of those. You could use those either wild orange drops or lemon drops if you want to. We will do a vitamin C lavage, which means we help determine how much vitamin C she needs. I have a very specific protocol. Once we get through the fat fast, once we get into natural ketosis to see where those levels are, and that is we will do 1,000 milligrams. I have a worksheet that we do to see how much vitamin C she needs for her body. But we don't do it in the middle. We kind of do a sweet spot. If you choose to do radiation or the sweet spot before radiation, you simply do it in 1 day. You do a scoop of pure ascorbic acid in water, 1,000 milligrams every hour until you get mushy stools to bowel tolerance. And that tells us how much her body needs. We take 60% of that. And then again, we use a pharmaceutical grade vitamin C that doesn't have any sweetener in it, anything like that. That's a powdered form. So it's absorbed easily through the vascular walls.
Okay.
And that
I
helps
have
your bone
taken-
health as well.
I have been taking some powdered ascorbic acid that we got it from the natural store the other day.
Okay, so send me what you have been taking. I look at the labs with that, but 1 step at a time, like we're kind of getting things moving forwards. But I know that we need to get you into ketosis as fast as possible and make sure we get the bedding clean. We need to get you sleeping really quickly because that's where your body repairs and heals. So bedding needs to be done. Is that correct? Pillow's probably more than a couple weeks old. Everybody should say yes to that. White pillowcases, because they're the cleanest. They don't harbor any microbiomes, and use all natural cleaners like 7th Generation, or if you use any of the other all natural cleaners, you can get it.
Some Melaleuca brand.
Yeah, that's
detergent.
generally okay. Just read it. If it has anything you can't pronounce, then it's probably a no-go. Just use baking soda and vinegar if you want to put that in the washer, or some type of baby one. But generally, it's okay. Most of the Melaleuca stuff is okay. Or they use the baby Melaleuca or Advocare's baby line of stuff is okay. There's several that are okay. If you have a question, just shoot me an email copy of it to my direct email, and I'll look at it. I'm always looking at labels for people.
Okay.
And Laura, did I answer all your questions?
Yeah, so for the lemon in the water, I do have some Young Living lemon from a friend. So that would just be 1 drop maybe per glass of water, or is that too much?
I would only do it once a day, not more than twice a day if you wanted to do that.
And so
Because water,
1 or 2 drops in a glass?
yeah, 1 or 2 drops in a glass once or twice a day.
Okay.
Generally we do that just because people don't like the taste of water, but I didn't really hear your mom say she didn't
Oh,
like
I'm
water.
a big water drinker.
Yeah, just drink water then. And make sure that, you're changing glasses every day. I tell everybody this. I see people walk around with the same water bottle for 3 or 4 days in a row. So,
Yeah,
I use a stainless steel straw. So use a glass straw or, a glass jar, something or ceramic or stainless steel, just so it's clean. Just
Okay.
again, keeping all the saliva and microbiome. If you're doing leftovers in the fridge, make sure that they're in a glass container, that kind of stuff. I know it seems very minute, but all these 1.5% of things adds up to your immune system.
Sure. It makes
And then
sense.
what about reverse osmosis? As far as the structured water, do you have any opinion on that?
So I love Kangen water when there's cancer involved. And then yes, reverse osmosis. So I have a Kangen system at the house. You can go to Kangen centers and you can buy gallons of water from them if you just want to buy it specifically for your mom, because those units are like $4,000. They're expensive. We have one at our office and we let all of our patients fill it up because the water only lasts for 24 hours once you change the pH. So, and you can do reverse osmosis as well because we have an RO system in our house. We have a full system filter softener. So something's better than nothing is what I'm going to tell you. So Kangen, if any of your friends have a Kangen system, do you live in town with your mom?
I do, yeah. Could you spell Kangen?
Yeah, Kangan.
Oh, just like it sounds. Okay.
Yeah, and so Kangen, if they have a center, like when we travel out of town for meetings, I think Abigail and I were in, we might have been in Dallas, and I have a Kangen at home, and so that I'm registered, I can go get an on-the-go gallon, and I can bring it to my hotel. So if your friends happen to have a Kangen, they can go, oh, I'm going to go get an extra gallon, or you can just take it to their house and fill it up, or get 2 gallons or a 2-gallon jug. It should last at that pH. I would, probably start with an 8.5 pH first and kind of see how you feel with that. Donna, when the pH, again, this will probably be more effective in a couple weeks, or when you're doing radiation, or as your body's pH changes, that's when we change the pH of the water. Remember, you have a different pH all over your system. Your stomach pH is a 1 to 2. That's why I don't want lemon being dropped in all the water. Water is a pH of 8 by itself, or 7 to 8. You want to drink it about 8.5. So when it tags the mouth and then tags the brain, all the salivary glands, is why I want you chewing your food, not juicing it, chewing your food, because that does a big thing for tagging your brain and slows down the surge of insulin and slows down how the pancreatic juices, the lipase, the amylase, the whole digestive tract should be a slow process. It shouldn't just be a slug and go, so to speak, when you're juicing foods. And you want the fiber in there as well, because the fiber is what binds onto toxins we're exposed to when we just breathe in the room. So I really don't want juicing at this point. She's able to talk and breathe, and hopefully we never have to juice. But with that being said, I'm okay with a little bit of celery and ginger and lemon juice, because it's really good for the adrenal glands mid-afternoon. So between 1 and 3 stalks of celery. This is after the fat fast. A half a knuckle of ginger and a couple drops of lemon. And that could be every other day, or just a day when you're feeling tired. It's a pick-me-upper. It's a good adrenal adaptogen.
Okay.
But not 20 pounds of celery in a week. And not like so much, don't start throwing apples and stuff, because then your glucose is going to go up. So it's just meant to be a shot or an adaptogen. And you can put it in your Vitamix.
What I've done in the past in the morning is have a smoothie, and we throw some powders. There's a company called Your Super, and we throw some powders and some fresh things into a blender. But if I need to be chewing my food, I guess I need to stop that.
Yeah, so we're not going to do that in the morning when you wake up, because after we get the fat fast, we want to wait till your body tells you you're hungry. You're putting food in your body when it's not hungry, you're making it work. We want your body to work to fight cancer. We want your immune system to work and make white blood cells, red blood cells, neutrophils, monocytes. We want it to work all those 5 parameters, keeping your army and immune system strong, so it doesn't allow anything to start growing, any start of the cancer to grow. So if it's so busy digesting food when it's not even hungry, then it weakens the immune system, and then the army comes down, so to speak. I always talk about our immune system as being the army. So then the army comes down, and now we can start, distracts the immune system. So we don't want to do that. So when you are hungry and you're not thirsty, you've had some water, maybe you've had a cup of coffee, which is, as long as it's organic, or green tea, something like that, yerba mate tea, Reiki mushroom tea, all that's fine. So reishi mushroom tea is fine. You want to put the 143 in it, because the 143, and Nick did bring that, right, Nick?
Yes.
So that has some phosphatidylcholine in it. The lining of all of our brain cells, if you remember drawing that like an 8th grade little circle with a stick in it, phosphatidylcholine lines the outline of our brain cells. And so that's what's in the 143, which is so important for brain health. Whether you have a broken brain from a car accident, or you just had surgery, or you have some invaders in there called glioblastomas, you want to make sure that we make strong outlines of our brain cells so nothing can come inside there. So the glioblastoma is going to protect that. And then it has the MCT, the C8, 10, 12, 14, and 16, which is energy to make it strong so nothing can come in there, or it just empowers the cell. You can put that in the morning and with your coffee or your tea. And then when you're hungry, have an egg quiche, or have some salmon in the morning, or have some type of fat first with some protein. And then during the day, fill up on all your greens. At night, I want a heavier protein fat dinner or fat protein dinner, because the fats are going to fill you up and stabilize your blood sugar and don't require any insulin, and will keep your glucose low. And then the proteins are the building block to your body. You just had surgery. And then when they start radiation, it's going to be tearing down some of your skin, some of your muscle, but ketones protect your lean muscle against the radiation that can burn certain parts of your body, weaken your bone. That's what the ketones do. That's why you want to have that higher level and keep the glucose low.
Okay. So is it okay to have like nitrate-free bacon and ham?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah. Just make sure it's not honey cured maple syrup,
right.
ham and bacon. Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
And you can rotate duck eggs, chicken eggs, ostrich eggs. You know, you could have, I mean, salmon for breakfast is a great option if you want to do something like that. But remember, eggs are better if the yellow part is raw, so they're organic or range free because of the choline. You want to rotate that. So the general rule is no food more than 3 to 4 days in a row. So if you have eggs for breakfast brunch, when you break that fast on Monday, you wouldn't have them again until Thursday.
Okay,
And then as you get into ketosis, you do your 3 days of a fat fast. Then you want to keep your carbs at 20 total. And
okay,
then if you stay in ketosis, so you wake up in the morning, you prick your finger, you're still in ketosis, which is over about 1.2, because that's where we want to keep it for cancer. 0.5 means you're in ketosis, but really for a safety net, we want to keep it at 1.0 to 1.2 or higher. If as long as you're in ketosis, keep it at 20. If you're there for 3 days, then we go to 23 total carbs for the day. Not net, but total. And then if you're still there at 23, then your body's tolerating that fine. You're sleeping good, you're feeling good. Then we can go up to 26 total carbs. It's a 3-day increment. And we find where that kind of sweet spot is for you. There may be a super stressful day that your body goes down under, and you get out of ketosis. That's where you grab your ketones and or your keto kick like a shot, and you take a shot of it and you just pop up your ketone level. So
Okay.
Abigail, I've had a lot of my epilepsy patients use those, and they'll take it. It'll stop a seizure. Like they'll just take that shot. We have a little 3 ounce. It's about the size of a bottle. That's a ketone. And I think it's good, especially when people don't feel like they can take a large volume, or make the Jello cubes to snack on. Those are really, really good. Remember that recipe?
okay.
I can get that
We
to
have-
Abigail.
We have your little 10-day book that we can look
Well,
at.
and the Jello's not in there. Well, my mom was on hospice, and she graduated from hospice, and she's still here 2 years later, driving, living in her own 2-bedroom apartment.
Wow.
So we made little.
Ready, but her body says no. Huh?
What'd you say?
She says she's ready, but her body says no.
She was over medicated. I'm gonna tell you, to be honest, she moved in and was on 20 medications, and she was on congestive heart failure. And she's had breast cancer, she had skin cancer, she had rheumatoid arthritis, she's had quadruple bypass, she's had 3 or 4 stents. She says, anyway, she moved in and she said, after a week, she's like, I think this is the day, I think I'm going. She was really tired, didn't feel good. I checked her vitals and they were like, her pulse was like 83 over 30. I'm like, well, no wonder you feel like you're passing. You're like barely alive. And so we called the doctor. She lost a little bit of weight and she was over medicated. Like she's under 130 pounds. She shouldn't be on this much Bumax or this much, cardiac medication. So we went within 2 weeks from 29 medications down to 13, got off all of her diabetic medication within 10 days because she was eating tacos. She was eating chicken, salmon, tuna salad, things like that, instead of Jello and Slim Fast and all the other stuff I kept telling her not to eat. But then the diabetic nurse would tell her to eat that. And
Yeah.
so COVID happened and the nurse quit coming around, the hospice nurse, and the Jello stopped coming into my house and the applesauce stopped coming into my house. And she started eating real food.
Yeah, that's
And
great.
so, 2 years ago.
Yeah, we were surprised with the food at the hospital, how bad it was.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Here they are trying to make it better and they're just giving you horrible things to eat.
Yeah. My father-in-law was on dialysis, and I think that I would literally take him up salmon and greens, or I'd taken up corned beef and cabbage and collard greens, and they were giving him like lobster mac and cheese. Like, you can't have red stuff. I mean, he's a dialysis patient. You can't do that. Like, they were literally giving him food he could not have. It was awful. So
Well, the amount of soda and everything that people drink too is terrible.
yeah, for sure. I know it's on the dialysis renal diet. Check it. You can have it. I'm like, why are they bringing you this food that's going to ultimately cause harm to your body? So
Right.
anyway, so we have a plan. My only recommendation would be, because people have a tendency, especially smart intellectual people, is they get on Dr. Google and they want to go crazy with it. I do want to share one slide with you from Dr. Adrian's research. I can give you a whole list of researchers, but she is one of the top thought leaders. I don't know if I have control at all, Abby. Did you give me control?
She's on mute.
Okay, I heard her. I have 3 or 4 articles, but let me, folders. So can you all see this?
Nothing came up.
Nothing came up.
Nothing came up. Okay, let me go back to this.
Hit share screen again, because I had just made you co-host.
Okay.
There you
So
Sure.
this is done obviously on a mouse, but this is a mouse that this is a study that Dr. Adrian Scheck did of the Barrow Institute, who does all the brain cancer research. This is a rat on a standard American diet. This is a rat on a ketogenic diet. This is a rat on a ketogenic diet with exogenous ketones, which is the keto nat that Abby's been sharing with you. This is the rat, again, controlled rat, all the same. You see this one got fatter and the cancer spread quicker. This is a ketogenic diet with exogenous ketones and a hyperbaric oxygen chamber. So there's a ton of research. I can share this article. This was done, again, at the Barrow Institute. There's one done at the University of South Tampa, Florida. There's a ton of research done on this. And a rat ketogenic diet is 1% carbs, just FYI. But there's a ton of research documentation. If you feel like you need me to share more with you, I can do that, because there's a lot out there, and there has been for about the past 14 to 15 years. But if there's a point where you say, I need pain control, but I don't think you're there because you said you feel great.
Oh.
But we have, even before you get to pain, I mean, having acupuncture, there's, make sure that you're getting outside, getting sunlight, grounding, getting your feet, touching your feet on the ground for 20 minutes turns on 200 healthy gut biomes in your gut. So sitting outside with your hubby, holding hands, reading a book, listening to music, doing some yoga on the ground, all that kind of stuff is really getting your immune system going and get your circulation going with your shoes off. That's easy, free, scientific stuff you can do. You can jump on the ground if you want to. So
Yeah,
that's
we live on a lake, so we have lots
You can-
amazing.
So
Wow.
it's right outside there, right outside the window here.
So take advantage of all that stuff. So
There's Emily. I didn't see her yet. We're all here.
Donna, are you clear on what the plan is?
Yeah, I think so. I think the kids have taken a lot of notes, and what I don't remember, they'll refresh me with what I need to do. So
And
Okay.
I have
I
this
sent them
recorded.
Next, her article with her YouTube video, where she actually did some research with injecting cancer cells into rats' brains and then feeding them exogenous ketones in addition to the keto diet, and the same kind of thing with these other results. And again, they used some radiation on a couple of them, some acute radiation, and eliminated. I know we don't plan on eliminating it, but in conjunction with all these things, hoping to get a few more years of quality life at least. That's what our goal is at this point.
Nick, I'm sorry, you're away from the microphone. I think you're saying that you shared a video already with them of when they were
Adrian.
injected.
Adrian, check.
Yeah, she did a video where she injected cancer cells into the brain of some rats
Yeah,
and did the same study. It's fairly lengthy and hard to watch a little bit of it, but I'm sharing that stuff with them that you guys
Okay.
have shared, that you've shared with Abby, so I appreciate that. We'll look at everything.
I mean, Dr. Angela Poff and Josh Perry was a cyclist who actually had brain cancer, and he went the traditional route the first time, and then it came back, and he's like, well, it wasn't supposed to ever come back. He's supposed to be 100% cured. And then he went on a ketogenic diet, and that was really hard to live by. And then he found exogenous ketones, and came back the second time on a ketogenic diet because he said, well, I'm 20 something, I want to live life. And now he does both the ketogenic diet with exogenous ketones. It gives him more flexibility. He's been in remission for a long time. But like you, Donnie, wanted to have strong, healthy bones, be functionally fit. And he was a BMX bike rider who kept having a lot of head injuries. And he may be 30 something now, but he's got a great book out and a great story. So there's a lot of people, when you have down days like, I just want to have that strawberry shortcake or whatever it is that you love, a bowl of popcorn. I'm looking at kale chips right now thinking, oh, I just snack on kale chips instead of popcorn. But when you have those days, and you've got a good tribe around you, and hopefully they're going to follow suit with you and join you in on the kale chips and other yummy dessert things.
So a lot of these things that we've been seeing are they reference BHBs, which is basically the same thing as endogenous ketones, correct?
Right. So our body makes 3 ketones. It makes acetoacetate, it makes acetone, and it makes beta hydroxybutyrate. So BHB is one of the 3 ketones that our body makes. BHB is specifically the energy molecule. Acetoacetate is more commonly the molecule that we use on our brain, like for epilepsy, so to speak. But your body, that's why I want her in a natural state of ketosis, because your body will make all 3. That way we cover all the bases.
Right.
Because our immune system is in our gut. We want to make sure that we are getting our harmonious balance between the brain and the gut. The surgeons go in there and they do this. They take that out. We've got to make sure that the body and the brain and the gut are all connecting as one. So the immune system, the lymphatic drainage between the brain and the gut, they want to call it the gut-brain barrier balance, is all working together, and nothing's getting stuck up to grow again. And it's all getting eliminated out when she's exposed to toxins, or we're all exposed to toxins.
Right.
So no pedicure places. Those things are full of toxins.
Last-
Do that.
Last question. Last question that I have is regarding her medications with the ketosis. Do any specific medication that she's on, anti-seizure medication, like almost like a Prilosec for, because of the other medications that she's on? I'm not a huge fan of medications, but I know some of them are needed, like the steroid, etc. Anything come into play with what we're trying to do ketosis wise?
No, because ketones are naturally occurring in your body. It's your body's, babies are born in ketosis. There's no chemical interference. There's no contraindication. But if you are in a proton pump inhibitor like Prilosec, it can make it harder for your body to get into ketosis. If you're taking Pepsin, Prilosec, Zantac, those also lead to osteoporosis. So those can make it harder for your body to get into ketosis. I legally can't tell you not to stop taking a prescription medication, just as an OB can't tell you not to take a cardiologist medication. But there's no contraindication. Ketones are mildly diuretic by nature because they don't use insulin. But if you are on like spironolactone, or if you're on, I'll look at the list of that, then just to make sure you're drinking plenty of water. And you said you're a good water drinker.
Right.
But she is taking Prilosec.
It's
not
that, yeah, it's basically Prilosec. I don't know what the prescription name is, but that's what it's for, due to the other medications causing any esophagus burning with and damage.
It's for reflux. It's a proton pump inhibitor, so
Yeah.
it raises the pH of your stomach. And then we're trying to put lemon juice in there to lower the pH of the
Yes.
stomach.
Yes.
So
Yes.
Well,
Yep.
well, I think that, Laura, I
The
think that,
steroids are done as of today.
yeah, they're done. And I think the other thing is we've heard it from nurses that take it as needed if you have allergic reaction to some of the other medicines she was taking. So I think we can just eliminate that, but we'll find that out tomorrow for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. And it may just be like, if that's only PRN, then they may have you just even take Benadryl PRN, or, you know, there's some other things you can take as needed, because it could be a big cocktail. So that's good to know. It's just as needed.
I don't have the acid, I just have the gas. I just burp a lot and fart a lot.
Like
Your family
Dr.
doesn't mind.
Dr. Heather, I just want to make sure, because I don't want her taking it if it's, I know we say it's minute amounts of dairy, but should she not take the keto cream after the fat fast because of dairy?
You can, because it doesn't have any lactose in it, and that's been removed. I would just do a half a serving, and because you're going to do the 1-4-3 if you like it. I mean, it's the Ceylon cinnamon is great for digestion. It's good for the immune system. The collagen's really, really good with radiation. So, and it's got the 3 different blends of MCT. I think the bone broth is a huge win when people are having surgery.
It's another thing, how much she had a half a cup of coffee this morning. Is that okay? Coffee and tea every now and then?
Yeah, for sure. That's what I said. Coffee, green tea, any herbal tea is fine. Reishi mushroom tea is going to be fine. Turmeric tea, any of those, and just ask. What I don't want is a cup of hot chocolate.
What
Right.
about chai tea? Is chai tea?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure, as long as it doesn't have any sugar in it. No,
Right.
I mean, I probably wouldn't waste your carbs on almond milk in a tea unless you really, really wanted it. But right now we want to stop growth and increase your immune system, because your immune system got hammered when you went under anesthesia and you're exposed to that whole entire hospital environment. And it's stressful going to meet doctors, which is your cortisol level, which increases insulin, which increases your glucose without even eating anything. It goes up. So
Right.
walking is great. You can walk a couple different times a day. Go sit and look at the lake. It automatically calms down those excitatory neurotransmitters.
Okay.
Very good.
And do you have, do you have access to like infrared saunas? Have you asked them about hyperbaric oxygen chamber
No.
treatments? That's very common for brain cancer.
If they don't have it at the hospital, we have access to it.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So, do you know, is it a big one or is it a portable one?
It would be, we would have to go there. The place is
Yeah.
called Restore, and they actually have, they have all of those things. It's almost like on a membership basis, but I would prefer the hospital to have it so we wouldn't have to make another trip.
Well, no, because it's a specific PSI and dive that you need for brain cancer versus what you would use for just longevity. There's, I mean,
Okay.
there's a very specific dive depth. So, and I told Adrian, Dr. Shack, I told her I would speak with you all, and then I would give her a phone call and I'll get some just information. Because I want to meet you where you are and take you where you want to go, not where I want to take you. So that's, I think, really important, and not where Laura or Nick wants to take you, or Abigail wants to take you, or I can't see your other daughters.
Babe, scoot closer to the mic when you're,
Should we look into getting something like that? Is it
No.
something ridiculous?
You can't afford that.
yeah,
What?
honey,
They're
no.
at $500,000. Or 500.
Yeah, right.
The hospital, a good brain institute should have one.
Okay. Well,
I'm sure Duke does.
I think you're right.
Hey, in Tampa, their daughter lives in Tampa, Dr. Heather. We could call Dom, right?
Yeah, it's not his field, it's not breast cancer, but yes. But they need to go what's closest for Donna, what's closest for her to get to, and have that in their use. That's why I wanted to pull up that rat study, because getting oxygen is healing. If you don't breathe, your cells have to have oxygen, and that's what helps restore. So sleeping and breathing and water, those first 3 things that are a must. Eating is last thing on the list.
We had said infrared sauna. That's kind of where I meant than hyper.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can get an infrared sauna. I can get you, those are very economical. I can get you a discount. I can get those at cost, but those are actually really good because it doesn't lose your, the minerals in your body, but it still increases your lymphatic flow without you running like a 5K. So there's a lot of great information on infrared saunas, helping your body naturally detox. Does your naturopath have one?
I don't see the naturopath anymore.
Okay, I think I'll get Nick the information here at Sunlight. Sunlight and Sauna is nationwide, but they're actually housed out of Kansas City. And we can get our patients just at cost basis, but it's something to have in the home that you could very easily use to relax in. It does help your body naturally detox. Sometimes oncologists, when you're doing chemotherapy, they don't like it because they think it's going to pull the toxic stuff out of your body. But infrared saunas, they don't dehydrate you. They just help move the lymphatic system out, and they help immobilize the fat and the fat tissue and lymphatic system without detoxing you systemically hard. Does that make sense? So there should be no,
Okay.
you should get energy from it and sleep better with it actually. And those are not super expensive.
Okay.
All right. Well, we need it. We'll all kind of gather together and try to summarize this stuff, what needs to be done, and then maybe we can feed that back to you, and you can correct us or add to our notes, because everybody's been taking notes here, I think.
And then
Yeah, I was trying to see if there's email. I'm sorry,
what's your email again? Ask Dr. Heather at, what do you want them to?
it's just Dr. Heather. I'll
Now,
put it in the chat box.
Okay,
Oh.
thank
She's typing in the chat box. DR
Heather.
EATHER at CARDINWELLNESS. Okay, fine. I thought you were writing it down. We'll just copy it up in the chat box. We'll just-
And then what is the email at the house?
That is the Meister, MEISTER, Mark, MERK, N is in Nancy, at hotmail.com.
Meister Mark Nancy.
Yes, N is in Nancy.
Oh, Meister Mark N period at Gmail, Hotmail.
Hotmail.com.
I don't think there's a period, Dad, right?
No.
Yep,
No,
you got it.
Mark N at hotmail.com.
Got it. Okay. Well, I've got a couple more Zooms today, and then I will actually do a summary email to you that you can share with your family of what I
Okay.
summarized today. And that way you have an email from me, but I've got a couple more Zooms, which I'm going to just jump off here, if that's okay. And
All
then
right.
we'll circle back. And if you can get me, I'll just put some bullet points, but I'll definitely get you a dispensary to get you some good pharmaceutical grade melatonin, low dose, but will help you get sleeping, that won't interfere with medications. And then I'm going to send you just a health history so I can get a better timeline from you of when things happened and got started.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much,
Thank
Dr.
you so much, Dr.
Nice
Heather.
to meet you guys.
Thanks. I really appreciate it.
Well, you're welcome. You have a lovely family.
Yes, they're all beautiful children.
Absolutely. You're a super lucky mom there. So we will
I'm
see
so
you all
lucky
very,
they're all in agreement.
yeah, I'm telling you, I've been in, you are, yes, you are very, very blessed. I can say that. So somebody go to the cupboard and start throwing out the stuff.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dr. Heather.
You're welcome. See you guys later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Throw away your pillow right
Emily just took off running and said, throw away your pillow right now.
Stop.
I-
Thanks, right?